Well, good morning, Anna. Thanks for tuning in to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. My name is Aishwarya Kapoor, and let us start with the headlines. Prime Minister to interact with the sugarcane farmers from major producing states today, centres initiatives to help sugarcane sector to come up for discussion. Import duty on sugar has been doubled and export duty scrapped, besides an 8,500 crore rupee package for the sector. India will take necessary steps to ensure its energy security, says government. Reaction to US pressure on countries to stop import of oil from Iran. Government asks refiners to look for alternative sources of oil. Southwest monsoon advances in several north and northwest states ahead of schedule, bringing respite from the heat. Entire country to be covered in the next 2 to 3 days. First summit between Donald Trump and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin on 16th of July at Helsinki in Finland, meeting to mend bilateral relations and discuss a host of national security and international issues. And Japan sneaked through to the knockout stages of the World Cup despite losing to Poland. Outdo Senegal on disciplinary record. England and Belgium both enter the round of 16. Our top story this morning, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact today with 150 sugarcane farmers from major producing states. He will discuss the various initiatives taken by the government recently for helping the sugar mills clear the cane arrears of around 20,000 crore rupees. The delegation will consist of farmers from Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Uttarakhand and Punjab. The meeting will take place at his official residence at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg. In order to help loss-making sugar mills pay sugarcane growers, the centre has taken various initiatives during the last 5 months, including doubling of import duty on sugar to 100%, scrapping of export duty and announcement of the 8,500 crore rupees worth of package. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also today lay the foundation stone of the National Centre for Aging at AIIMS in New Delhi today. The Aging Centre will be equipped with a multi-speciality healthcare which is suitable for the older population. The planned facility is expected to have 200 general ward beds. He will also dedicate a 300-bed power grid Vishram Sadan in AIIMS and a connection motorable tunnel between AIIMS, Ansari Nagar and the Trauma Centre. The Prime Minister will also inaugurate a super speciality and an emergency block at the Safdarjung Hospital. The Prime Minister will inaugurate a 555-bed super speciality block in Safdarjung Hospital and also dedicate a 500-bed new emergency block here. On to the other top story. India has said that it will adhere to its stated policy on Iran and will consult all the stakeholders to ensure its own energy security. The response comes in the wake of the US proposing a ban on oil imports from Iran from the month of November. President Donald Trump's special envoy Nikki Haley met Indian leaders on the issue on Thursday.
External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj held talks with US President's emissary Nikki Haley on the potential US ban on oil imports from Iran after the 4th of November. Swaraj is understood to have explained how Iran is strategically important for India to contain terrorism and maintain the balance of power for peace in the region. External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Ravish Kumar said India will engage with all stakeholders to ensure its own energy security.
I feel that Iran is a very traditional partner. We have historical civilization linkages with Iran. As far as we are concerned, we will take all necessary steps, including engagement with relevant stakeholders to ensure our energy security.
After the meeting with Swaraj, Haley raised the same issue with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Later, in a speech in Delhi before a gathering of Indian think tank, she explained how US saw Iran's quest for nuclear weapons as a threat to world peace. Haley also said US will not exempt India from secondary sanctions on companies that import oil from Iran.
We did talk about this. I did with Prime Minister Modi. We do have this in terms of our dialogue because I think that India also recognizes the threats of Iran. We understand the logistics that come into play with Iran, but we have to always make sure that the priority is peace and security. And as long as the priority is peace and security, the U.S. is going to continue to try and work with our partners, our friends, and our allies to make sure that we are all pushing Iran to be a good, accountable international neighbor.
Haley supported India's concerns on Pakistan and said the US will continue to be tough on Pakistan to stop terrorist support and finance. She also slammed China for not adhering to democratic values and said it will limit US-China relations in future. Haley is on a 3-day visit to India to consult with Indian leadership on issues of bilateral and global importance. She also emphasized that postponement of the 2+2 meet between US and India on the 6th of July was not related to bilateral issues, but some other pressing engagements.
Both Iran and the trade issues are unprecedented moments for the world as far as US is concerned. And India has made it clear that India will go with its own national interests and not by the directive of any other country. AKHILESH, SUMAN for Rajya Sabha television with camera person Sudhanshu in Delhi.
Meanwhile, in related news, the Oil Ministry held discussions with the oil firms yesterday, telling them to prepare a blueprint of the alternative sources. Oil Minister Dharmendra Pradhan said that India will decide on Iranian imports, keeping its best interests in mind. Well, the measure comes in the backdrop of the United States pursuing its allies to cut trade ties with Iran. While India has said that it does not recognize unilateral restrictions imposed by the US, the Petroleum Ministry has asked the refiners to tread cautiously and start looking at the alternatives. The US, apart from reimposing sanctions on Iran, has also threatened to cut off access to the American banking system for foreign financial institutions that trade with Iran. On to some other news. It was in 2016 that the Indian Army carried out its surgical strike in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir across the LOC. And 21 months after the incident, the real story has now been revealed. So let's take a look at what the authentic video footage shows.
Nearly 21 months after the Indian Army launched surgical strikes in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, the government releasing in black and white the visuals of unprecedented operation. The footage was recorded by unmanned aerial vehicles using thermal imaging cameras. Some of it was captured by the cameras mounted on helmets of commandos. The video footage tells the story of how, on the intervening night of September 28th and 29th, 2016, para-commandos of the 4th and 9th Battalions crossed the line of control 2 to 4 kilometers deep in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Separate teams targeted 7 terror launch pads located in POK's Lepa Valley, Tatapani and Bimba areas. At the mapped locations, the commandos killed many terrorists, destroyed bunkers, military constructions, and most importantly, makeshift buildings that housed the Pakistani terrorists before they infiltrated across the LOC. The operation was launched live by Director General Military Operations Lieutenant General Ranbir Singh and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval at the Northern Command headquarters in Udhampur and in the South Block, Delhi. The commandos of the 4th and 9th Special Forces Battalions were later awarded gallantry medals. On September 29, 2016, Lieutenant General Ranbir Singh announced to the public the operation inflicted significant casualties on Pakistani army. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And the video of the surgical strikes has triggered a political debate with the BJP and the Congress taking on each other. The BJP is demanding an apology from the Congress party, while the Congress is accusing the BJP of playing politics over the valor of the soldiers.
The video of the September 2016 surgical strikes has sparked a political war of words. Vindicated by the video proof, the BJP hit back on the Congress and other opposition parties for questioning the veracity of the surgical strikes. The ruling party accused the Congress of making statements doubting the commitment and bravery of the armed forces and lowering their morale.
हमारा स्पष्ट आरोप है कांग्रेस पार्टी पाकिस्तान के आतंकवादियों के हौसले को मजबूत कर रही है और हमारा दूसरा आरोप यह है कि जो पाकिस्तान बार-बार सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक को कहता है हुई नहीं तो आज पाकिस्तान के लोग भी कहेंगे तो कांग्रेस पार्टी भी सवाल उठा रही है तो हमारी बात ही कह रही है सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक हुआ नहीं.
Why Congress is doing such thing? Because of their failure, because of the corruption, the people of India have rejected the Congress party. But that doesn't mean that in desperation they should act and speak in the language of the separatists and the Pakistani establishment. This is very unfortunate, and I think that Congress party must apologize to the nation.
The then Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar said that the Congress should realise their mistake of casting aspersions on the action of the Indian Armed Forces.
What is shown is a very small part of the actual operation, and what is important is those people doubting Thomases or those who are doubting about surgical strike. This is a right response to them, that our armed forces can carry out this kind of operation successfully.
The Congress launched an attack on the BJP, saying the party was using soldier sacrifice for votes. The Congress also claimed that the government has failed to provide a direction and vision to deal with Pakistan.
सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक का वीडियो आपने जारी किया, उसकी आवश्यकता भी नहीं, क्योंकि देश सेना का सम्मान करता है. सवाल ये है कि क्या आप सेना के शौर्य, सेना के बलिदान, सेना के पराक्रम, सेना के साहस का इस्तेमाल केवल और केवल राजनीतिक वेदी पर रोटियां सेकने के लिए करेंगे?
Meanwhile, the CPI said that Indian Army should not be dragged into any political debate.
The whole country is proud of Indian Army. Every citizen is proud of Indian Army. And Indian Army is known for its valor, commitment and fearlessness in defending country's sovereignty. Why to bring Indian Army to a political discourse?
Ever since the surgical strikes took place in September 2016, the opposition had been raising questions and demanding proof of the military action. With inputs from Vipin Chauhan, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And the annual AMARNATH YATRA to 3,880-meter high cave shrine in south of Kashmir started from both Baltal and Pahalgam routes on Thursday afternoon after a delay of several hours due to heavy rain in the morning. The Yatra commenced in the afternoon from both the Baltal and the Pahalgam routes, and only 1,316 Yatris were able to start the journey through the Baltal route and 60 through the Pahalgam route. By the evening, 1,007 pilgrims had paid obeisance at the holy cave. However, after getting road clearance, the second batch of 3,500 pilgrims also left the Bhagwati Nagar base camp at Jammu for Kashmir. Now, considering the condition on the existing tracks and other infrastructure, the SASP has decided to allow 7,500 pilgrims on each route per day. Over 2 lakh pilgrims have so far registered for the 60-day Yatra, which is scheduled to conclude on 26th of August. And on to some weather news now. Well, monsoon reached the national capital 1 day ahead of its scheduled arrival, and according to the IMD, the monsoon would cover the entire country in the next 2 to 3 days. Southwest monsoon has further advanced into some more parts of Gujarat region, some parts of Rajasthan, entire Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, remaining parts of western Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Punjab. The southwest monsoon advanced over almost the entire Himachal Pradesh on Thursday, and there are chances of more showers in the next 4 days. The rainfall occurred in most parts of the state with the plummeting of the maximum temperature by 9 to 10 degrees. Una town in the state recorded the maximum rainfall. News from the national capital now. The centre on Thursday announced that no trees will be cut in the national capital for redevelopment projects as the concerned construction agencies begin to redesign the plans for redevelopment of colonies. As A panel of the Delhi Assembly is also all set to visit the sites of redevelopment projects in South Delhi today and submit a report on the current status of felled trees as well as the new plantations done by the NBCC. Union Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs Hardeep Singh Puri has also assured that the national capital's green cover would not be damaged and that steps would be taken to enhance it. And the Ministry Secretary, D.S. Mishra, announced that 1 million trees will be planted in Delhi in the next 3 months. The Delhi High Court had also asked the National Buildings Construction Corporation to not cut any more trees in the national capital till 4th of July, after reports said that over 16,000 trees were to be felled.
CC and CPWD will rework the design and plans of these 7 colonies in such a way that for the remaining redevelopment, no more trees will be felled. In the next 3 months, the different agencies of Government of India are going to plant more than 1 million trees.
And in Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break here. We'll be back with more news on the other side. Stay tuned.
The biggest sporting event on earth. Top teams competing to be crowned the world champion. Expert opinion, news from the training camps. Analysis of matches with our in-house experts.
Hello and welcome to Rajya Sabha TV's coverage of the FIFA World Cup.
RSTV brings you all the news from the FIFA World Cup every day at 7 p.m.
Welcome back after the break. Now, China's Defense Ministry announced on Thursday that a senior Chinese general will soon visit India as both the nations make effort to reset ties following an ice-breaking summit between their leaders. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Narendra Modi agreed in April to open a new chapter in ties after the Doklam dispute. Chinese Defense Ministry said that Major General Liu, Deputy Commander of China's Western Military Region, would soon go to India as well as Pakistan. Now, China has not disclosed the dates yet. Liu would discuss border issues and cooperation as well as military exchanges during his visit. Our top international focus, well, the first formal one-on-one summit between US President Donald Trump and Russian leader Vladimir Putin takes place on 16th of July in Helsinki in Finland. The Kremlin and the White House simultaneously announced the place and the date a day after reaching an agreement for the two leaders to meet following a visit by US National Security Advisor John Bolton to Moscow. And the White House said that the two leaders will discuss relations between the US and Russia and a range of national security issues. Other issues include the civil war in Syria, Russian aggression in Ukraine and North Korea's nuclear weapons. The summit will come up at the end of Donald Trump's scheduled trip to Europe, including a NATO summit in Brussels set for 11th and 12th of July. The Trump-Putin summit is also taking place in the midst of a U.S. Special Counsel investigation into the Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. election. This will be the first formal summit between Trump and Putin. The two had earlier met on the sidelines of economic conference last year in Germany and in Vietnam and have spoken on the phone. And big story from the US where 5 people have been killed after a gunman opened fire at a local newspaper office in Maryland. The gunman, who has now been arrested, opened fire through the glass door of the newsroom. Reports say that he is refusing to cooperate with the officers and had damaged his fingertips to avoid being identified. He was also found to be carrying fake grenades and smoke bombs in a backpack. The police also destroyed an item believed to be an explosive device at the premises. And after the shooting, more than 170 people were escorted safely from the building, which also houses other businesses. Police said that it was a targeted attack on the newspaper, which had recently received violent threats through social media. US President Donald Trump also tweeted a message of support.
There are 5 fatalities that we know of. There are several other persons that are gravely injured. We will have more information for you in the next briefing.
The shooter is in custody and being interrogated at this time. I want to commend the public safety professionals who were very quick to the scene here within about 60 seconds.
And now let's take a look at all the action from the Football World Cup in Russia. Well, a look at the Thursday's results at the Football World Cup first. Well, Belgium beat England 1-0 to secure top spot in Group G. A brilliant strike by Adnan Januzaj lit up an otherwise insipid clash between the two sides. Januzaj's superb second-half goal sent Belgium into the last 16 clash with Japan, while England will now advance to the second round meeting with Colombia on Tuesday. By finishing second in the group, England have though avoided a loaded top half of the draw containing past winners Brazil, France, Argentina and Uruguay, as well as European champions Portugal. And in the second match of the group, Tunisia beat Panama 2-1. A second-half strike from Awabi Khazri ensured Tunisia ended the World Cup campaign with a victory as Panama finished at the bottom. The North African side, who had 14 chances, fell a goal behind when Jose Luis Rodriguez's effort deflected off Maria. Fakhruddin Yusuf then equalized when he tapped home Khazri's low ball. The provider of that goal then scored his second of the tournament when he fired home Osoma's Hadidi's cross. And here are the results of the two matches played in the Group H yesterday. Japan made it to the last 16 of the World Cup despite their 1-0 loss to Poland. Their entry was owing to better disciplinary record than Senegal, who lost their match to Colombia. The match finished in a farcical fashion, with both the sides happy to play the ball around at the back for much of the final quarter. Then Akira Nishino's side finished with the same number of points, goals scored as well as goals conceded as Senegal, but they were shown only 4 yellow cards during the group stage to the African side's 6. Japan will now take on Belgium. And in the other match, Colombia beat Senegal 1-0 to make it to the last 16 tie with England. Senegal spent the final 20 minutes pushing for an equalizer, which would have sent the African side through. Colombia had to win to be sure of their success. We have with us Jyoti Ann Buret, a former national football player, joining us in the studio. A very good morning, Ms. Buret. Speaking about the matches yesterday, of course, England versus Belgium, it was a game that no one really wanted to win. But a 1-0 victory of Belgium over England means that it has now secured the top spot in Group G, winning all 3 of its group games and will face Japan in the last 16.
Yes, it was a disappointing game to watch yesterday. Most of the main players being rested. So no Harry Kane, no Lingard, the English side that has impressed us so far. Belgium, of course, also made 9 changes to their side. So all their stars also absent from yesterday's game. A very young side that they put up against England, I would say their second string side. However, at the end of the day, the Belgians played better football yesterday and they deserved that 1-0 win. To be honest, I don't think both teams actually wanted that win because they wanted the slightly so-called easier route into the semi-finals. But Belgium will keep that momentum and use it to propel themselves forward when they take on Japan.
Absolutely, and England's loss means that it finished second and it will take on Colombia. And speaking about the Tunisia-Panama match, of course, Tunisia ending its World Cup campaign with a 2-1 win against Panama. Of course, it was a consolation victory because the North African side had already been eliminated from the tournament, but a victory nonetheless.
Yes, so for these sides, a victory can mean a lot. Them going back to their countries, how football will develop in those countries. A small thing like a World Cup win can do wonders. So it's been a learning experience for them at this World Cup. things haven't really gone their way, but they can learn from this. They're inexperienced sides, and playing against the top sides has really given them a huge wealth of experience that they can build on for the next World Cup.
Right, but I think more action was there in the Group H yesterday, because Japan-Poland match and Colombia-Senegal, and that is how the tight really the margins were in Group H. Japan and Senegal finishing both with identical records, level on points, goal difference as well as goals scored as well. But of course, Japan accumulating 4 bookings compared to Senegal 6. That means, it ended up being the deciding factor.
Yeah, going into this competition, these teams knew the rules. They knew how things would pan out if everything else were equal. So I think that is something that they should have taken into account. But looking at the Senegalese coach and his views on this, he said his team went all out, and if that meant getting a few extra cards, that's what they decided to do. So that cost them heavily. Of course, with Senegal leaving no African sides in the top 16, it's a sad thing to see, because, African football, it shows a slight demise in African football. I would have liked to see Senegal be in the top 16 because they're a side who've been playing well. But it's unfortunate, but it's obviously something they learn from, and that's how things are.
Right, and of course, FIFA's fair play rule coming here, and also that obviously contributed to the bizarre finish to the match yesterday. Thank you so much, Ms. Jyoti, for joining us and sharing all the perspectives on the yesterday's matches. Thank you so much. And for in-depth analysis of all the day's matches with our experts in the studio, do also watch our special daily show on the FIFA World Cup every day at 7 p.m. And let's now look at some more sporting action in SportsBeat. India conceded a late goal to settle for a 1-1 draw with Belgium in the Champions Hockey Tournament in Netherlands. India scored an early goal through a penalty corner conversion by Harmanpreet Singh, and it managed to hold to the lead till the 59th minute before Loic Youpart dashed their hopes by converting their first of the 11 penalty corners. With 7 points from 4 games, India are still in with a chance of progressing to the Sunday's final. Indian shuttlers Kidambi Srikanth and PV Sindhu have entered the quarterfinals of the Malaysia Open Badminton Tournament. Srikanth beat Chinese Taipei's Wang Tuzhui 22-20, 21-12 in the men's singles pre-quarterfinals. In the women's pre-quarterfinals, PV Sindhu beat 39 seed Ying Yang Lee of Malaysia 21-8, 21-14. Saina Nehwal already has crashed out of the tournament. World champions India will aim to enter the final with a big win when they face South Korea in the second semi-final of the Six Nation Kabaddi Masters at the Al Wasl Sports Club in Dubai tonight. Ajay Thakur-led India has had a dream run in the Six Nation tournament, winning all of their 4 group matches as well with big points difference. And India will play Ireland in the second T20 international match at Dublin in the evening today. India won the first match of the 2-match series by 76 runs. The men in blue will head then to England for 3 T20s, 3 ODIs and 5 test matches. And with that, we come to the end of this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.